warm welcome to all for joining this section. On behalf of the Buddhist Embassy, I would like to welcome the respected meditation teachers Alex Young and the beloved wife Miriam Young, who has joined to discuss the topic Mindful Leadership for Mindful World. Alex Young is a meditation teacher at the Buddha Vipassana Meditation Center. Alex started the Insight Meditation Fest in Hamilton, Canada in 2001. Through that journey, his work in developing meditation was being recognized in 2014 by the governor of Thailand, and he was being selected in 2020 to receive a country-wide Benefactor of Buddhism award from the Princess of Thailand. So now I would like to welcome our co-founder, president and brand ambassador of Buddhist Embassy, Visita Leela Ratna, for this section. We welcome you and thank you again for joining us today. So now to begin with the discussion, I would like to ask you, sir, can you please explain what is insight meditation and what is it involved?
I'm happy to, and thank you for having us as part of your discussion. Um, Insight meditation is a type of mental development that was first described by the Buddha in a sutta, which is called the Dhammacakkawattana Sutta. And then later, the Buddha explained the technique in more detail in a discourse called the Great Discourse on the Four Foundations of Mindfulness. The type of insight meditation that we teach is a type of meditation that is within the Northern Thai tradition, as taught by our teacher Ajahn Tong Sir Mangkolo. And this technique was refined by our teacher after it was popularized by a Burmese master who was called Mahasi Sayadaw. So the word insight meditation is the English word that we use to translate the Pali word, which is vipassana. So Pali is the language that we believe the Buddha actually commonly spoke. And if we take a look at the word vipassana and translate it into English literally, we end up with the words seeing through or seeing into the true nature of reality. And so when a person practices insight meditation, he or she then, based on seeing this true nature of reality, is able to overcome all kinds of difficulties in the world, because the person then realizes that these experiences, although they're suffering, they're not permanent and they're not within the person's control. So they're just arising and ceasing on their own. And once a person understands that, then he or she is no longer attached to the experiences and no longer suffers in the same way. Eventually, a person can overcome all kinds of suffering completely, and that type of person is what we refer to as an
Yes,
arhat.
sir. Thank you for the information. It was quite really very interesting to know.
So when the mind is confronted with painful and suffering conditions, the natural human tendency is to avoid them by looking for some kind of sense indulgence or to suppress the conditions using concentration. Now, according to our teacher, Ajahn Tong, the Buddha instructed his followers to seclude themselves from sense indulgence, either temporarily or indefinitely by becoming ordained. So when we seclude ourselves, then we're distant from those distractions of sense indulgence. And then the next step is to prevent the mental suppression of those painful conditions. And we can do that using a technique called an acknowledgement, which is also known as mental noting. So when we acknowledge, we actually say the word in our mind of the experience that we're having. and we can repeat it 3 times. So, for example, if we feel angry, we could acknowledge anger, anger, anger. Or if we feel worried, we could acknowledge worried, worried, worried. And so, as I said, the impact of the acknowledgement is that it prevents us from suppressing the condition. And when we no longer suppress the condition, we can examine it. We can um, look at it to see what is it, what is its true nature. So once we've been able to see the true nature of the condition, then we can see that it will cease on its own and we actually aren't in control of it. And that leads to eventually a cessation of the suffering itself, a peacefulness that comes from understanding the condition instead of from suppressing it.
Question. So, how do you reach and train youth for your meditation program?
How do we reach and train youth for our meditation program? We reach all our students through various different means of communication, such as our website, our mailing list, and also we get a lot of our students through word of mouth.
Okay, thank you, sir. That was quite interesting to know the different methods you take to reach and train the youth. So, moving towards the next question, what makes you feel motivated to do the meditation training program?
We're motivated primarily by our own experience with meditation. So, both my wife and I, we're both teachers, and we've both been practicing meditation for many years, and we've experienced many benefits ourselves from the meditation practice. So, that motivates us to look for different ways to share it with other people.
Thank you, sir. So, the next question is both for Alex, sir, and Miriam, ma'am, as you both are the meditation teachers. So, could you please share your experience for teaching people with the insight meditation, whose vision is to have a presence of mind, a program to improve the interpersonal
The
skills?
method that we use is directly from our teacher, Ajahn Tom. Um, it's a path of purification of the mind. So automatically, all the good things, all the good qualities of a person's personality or nature, sorry, it will automatically improve. So if somebody was extremely shy before practicing, it will adjust automatically through this process of mental purification. Or if somebody is too talkative, it could also help the person to see what's happening and to understand how to behave so that they can communicate better with other people. So uh, we follow exactly this system of of taking the student through these 16 stages of knowledge. And for sure, if the student follows the instructions, automatically it will happen that the character of the person will change in a positive way.
Thank you, sir and ma'am. Moving towards the next question, are you offering any online meditation courses?
So, because of the intensive nature of the course that we teach, which is an authentic course in the Northern Thai tradition, we found it very difficult to offer the courses online because we really need to work with each student individually, and we need to have that personal interaction with them to deal with their particular concerns and challenges. And so, because of that, we we just offer our courses exclusively in person.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, moving towards the last question, through the website, we got to know that you're offering different type of retreats. So, what is the difference between a 1 day retreat and a 10-day retreat?
So at the moment, because of COVID, we've had to reduce the capacity at our meditation center. Normally, we have the capacity for 5 students at a time. And that allowed us to offer weekend retreats for students. But now we're restricted so that we can only have one person in the meditation center at a time. So, because of that restriction, the short retreats are very difficult for us. And we've had to limit the retreats to those who are available for the 15-day basic course. So the 15-day basic course is a really good course for somebody who's looking to get an introduction to meditation and to Buddhism, because if we have 15 days to work with the person, then that's enough time for us to bring that person through all of the stages of insight knowledge that were described in the Buddhist texts. And so the person gets to see the various different perspectives of reality that are available, ending with a very interesting perspective that gives the person a new way of looking at the world and a new way of looking at themselves.
Okay, thank you, sir. That was quite interesting. Would you both like to give any message to the youth or to the people during this pandemic issues that would help the young to meditate or to focus in their life?
Well, I would say that most people can, if they pay attention, they can see that there are no things in this world that arise um, and then last forever. Everything that arises also ceases. So, or in other words, everything that has a beginning also has an end. So, the pandemic is a stressful experience for many people, um, without any doubt. But we know for sure that the pandemic wasn't with us all the time. It for sure had a beginning. And because it had a beginning, then we know that for sure it will come to an end. And I hope that that can offer some comfort to people who are suffering during the
That
pandemic.
was quite relief. Thank you, sir and ma'am, for all the wonderful answers. And we are very delightful having you today in our discussion. I would like to thank everyone for being a part of the discussion. I would like to invite you to participate in a great event, Vesak, that is to be conducted on the 26th of May via the Buddhist Embassy YouTube channel on Zoom. Thank you.